Hey everyone, welcome to Motor Psychology. My name is Jonathan, and if you're a new viewer, welcome, and if you're a returning viewer, welcome back. Your support is greatly appreciated, and thanks for being here for this video. So in today's video, it's going to be about trying to get this engine back together. So I'm going to be installing the timing gear cover, and right after that, putting the refurbished oil pan back on the 350 small block Chevy engine. So I'm so happy to be at that position where I'm getting these things on. So I'm going to show you that and how I get these things ready and install them. So stick around and let's see how it goes. This is a year or so ago, taking the timing cover off from what I believe was the first time since it was installed in 1977. So definitely in need of a refresh and refurbish. So this is what I have for the timing cover, and I want to get this on before I put the oil pan on. This is the refurbished timing cover. Got the new bolts for it, and there's 10 of them. And I'm going to use this gasket as well. And there are instructions on the inside, but basically you just need a thin coat of RTV on it, and I'll show you that. So here's the stuff outside in the garage, and let's open this and check out the instructions. Also comes with gaskets for the water pump, which I am going to use, but not today. That's the gasket we're going to use, and I'm going to use this as the outside, the side with the lines on it, unless it says otherwise, and this for the part where it's going to come up against the engine. All right, pretty easy to do. So I'm just going to put some acetone on the engine block and then put the RTV on it and take it from there. This is the RTV that I'm going to use. It's black, gasket maker, and it's basically specially made for things like timing covers and oil pans as well. So that will work really well. So oil pans, transmission pans, valve covers, timing gear covers, thermostat housing. So it's all good. Just give this one a try, and this is the main reason I got it, is the two components that I'm putting on. So ought to work for that, I would think. So just gonna pour some oil on here. This area gets a lot of oil anyway, so this is just to get some oil on this thing before it starts. Okay, under here, putting on some acetone to clean the surfaces here. So this is what I'm going to use, and comes sealed obviously, and you just use the end of the top, push it in, and it creates an opening. So I'm just going to put that around the outside very, very lightly, and then get ready to put the gasket over it. So I'm going over on the top and the bottom of these holes that go into the, or the screw holes that go into the engine block. You honestly don't need much of this at all. Stay off of those as much as possible. Just give this a minute or two to set up a little bit. So now that it's in place there, I'm going to put this gasket in there, and there's a couple holes that'll help you. There's these little studs down there that come out right there. Pop that in. Perfect. Pop that in, and then take your time to align all these things. Just going to put a little bit more under here. Great. So I've put a coat of the RTV on here. I want to get it on. So you don't need to put it on very thick. You just need to put a very thin coating on, and just make sure that you get it around all the holes and stuff like that. So now let's go over and put this back on the Corvette and put the screws in. Okay, just double checking my gasket before I put this on, and everything looks good. So I'm gonna put the cover on, and looking for these two guide pins here, which are basically the second point up. So I'll find them on here. I'm just putting this one bolt in to keep the timing gear cover in place while I line it up on the pins below, and then I should be set to getting this thing in place. Wipe this off here. Going to put the other screws in here. And I'm just tightening them, hand tighten for now. So for these screws here, they go on 80 foot-inches. So that's about 6.5 or 6.6 foot-pounds. So I'm going to torque those in right now. There's that one, and I'm just going to alternate on my way down. Here we go. Go. Couple more to do. So after a little bit of jiggling with these two pins on here, the rest went on pretty easily. So the timing cover, the original one, is back on the car. So we're moving ahead. Now on to the oil pan. This is the removal of the original oil pan a while back and first time out, and it looked like it needed a huge refresh. So getting ready to put on the oil pan, here's a couple of little, they call them snap-ups, but they just help you put the pan in place. And these are set for the four corners of the pan. They screw into the engine block, and then when you want to take them off, there's a little standard slot to get them out. So I'll show you those. And here's all the hardware, and I'm just going to get that set up. So you've got the corner bolts and all the ones around the side. So just going to set that up now. All right, we're getting ready to put the pan on, and there are 18 of these bolts. These ones, the smaller ones here, go on the side rails, and they have a 7/16 socket size that fits on the top, and the four corner bolts are a little bit more robust, bigger. They're a 1/2 inch socket drive for that, and they go in last actually. The torque value for these is 165 inch-pounds, or roughly about 13 something foot-pounds. So I'm going to put them in at 13 foot-pounds, will be good enough. The other thing that I'm super interested in is to make sure that the oil pump pickup is close enough to the bottom of this pan. So you're looking at, you want it about 1/4 inch off the bottom. You've got about 1/4 inch to 1/2 inch, but I'm going to go for 1/4 inch. And the way that you figure that out is you need to have a straight edge. Wherever mine is, here it is. So you need to have a straight edge here, and I'm going to just throw this on for a second here because it'll give me the depth with the gasket on it. So basically from here all the way down to the bottom of the pan, I just want to see how much it'll be. So let's put it this way. Oh, that's great. That one's in millimeters, centimeters and millimeters. So right to the bottom is right to the bottom is 18 centimeters. So that's your distance, including that piece of blank space there, right to 18 centimeters. So I want to make sure that the pickup is around 7.5 or 7.25 centimeters in there. So that should work out fine. Yeah, that's about perfect. So if it doesn't touch the oil pan when I put it in, I'm going to leave it at that. Other things that you need to do is put some acetone or lacquer thinner around here, which I've already done, and now it's just a matter of getting the oil pan on. All right, back under the Corvette. So these guys here go in the corners. They're kind of like job aids, I guess. And they just screw into the block. Screw them all the way in. I'm going to slide over here. Oh, that's a tight fit in here. All right, this is what we're looking at here as far as those corner pins. Nicely done, and these two way down here. That one there. And the other one is up here somewhere. All right, now we can get the oil pan on. The next important step is to put the RTV beads at the right spot. which are really, on this one is where the rear seal casing connects, and on this side it's right at the corner where the timing chain cover is. So I'm going to put those on, and then I'll show you before I put the pan on. So for here, it's way up in this corner here. So you can see in there where I've got the RTV on the edge where it hits the timing cover, and the same on this side here. You can peek over and see. And way back here, which is hard to reach, it's up in the corner up there, and the same over here as well. So now it's time to put the gasket on. All right, let's do this. So this is where these things get really helpful, is you just have to kind of line them up on these things. There we go. Same with that. Helps it stay in place much, much better. There, it gives you a little bit of opportunity to squeeze everything in place here. Tuck that in there. Nice. So fundamentally the gasket is in place. Just double checking to make sure it's in the right grooves, which it is. Nice. Now we can come and get the oil pan and start getting that set up on here. So this oil pan will also clip on these things as well. These two are in place. Are in place. We just got this thing in the way. There we go. There. So you can see how these things here help you keep your pan in place while you put in the other bolts along the side, and do the four corners as the last. So pretty cool. It's just going to be about getting these things lined up. One of, what is it, 14? This little guy here, I probably don't need to do that. Three more to go in. Two more if I can find them. All right, so all of these are tight but not torqued. And now I just have to take out these end pieces here and put in the corner bolts. So I'm going to do that now. There's one out. Let's try and get this one out over here. These things are a great idea. Holy smokes. Get this guy out. There we go. That one's out. Now to put in the corner bolts, which are, what did I say they were? 1/2 inch. So I've got to get a new socket. Too easy for that one. And one left to do. There we go. So you can see the corner bolt up there, and let's see over here. We've got those ones done. Corner one's done. All the way down the side. And up here. And over there. And down the side here. So now I'm going to torque them up, and I'm just going to torque them at 13 foot-pounds and call it a day. Okay, now we're now torquing these up to 13 foot-pounds. And I'm starting from the center, moving out to the corners. They almost feel too tight, but come on. There we go. This one here. There we go. Nice. So I've got all the side bolts torqued, and I'm just going to do the end bolts, and that will be it. Onto the corners now, finally. And they get torqued to the same value as well. There we go, that's pretty easy. There we go. And down to these ones finally. There we go. And lastly, there we go. Double check. All right, there's the pan done. All torqued up to 13 foot-pounds for now. And I'll double check at another time just to make sure that everything is still good. Hey everyone, that concludes the video on the timing cover gasket installation and also the oil pan installation using that Fel-Pro gasket system. So it all went together pretty good. No main challenges with it. A lot of work lying underneath the car and getting that stuff done, but that's part of the fun and part of the challenges of these projects. So thanks for being here on the video. Next video coming up is probably going to do with some steering components of that C3 Corvette, because I'm trying to put all that stuff together. So thanks for being here, and we'll see you right back here next time.